Here's the thing about Jim Carrey. We love him in his movies, I think, because you never know what he's going to do or say. And I'm here to tell you that in real life, you never know what he's going to do or say.
Yeah.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 actors who refuse to promote their movies.
Who coined the phrase, the sound of mucus?
No, I think we all did collectively.
For this list, we'll be looking at actors who, for one reason or another, didn't do any promotion for their movie. Do you think any of these stars made the wrong choice? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Vince Vaughn, 4 Christmases. There are many reasons an actor might refuse to promote their own movie, and apparently one of those reasons could be their total distaste for the co-star they'd be promoting it with.
What did you call me?
I didn't stutter.
This seems to have been the case for Vince Vaughn during 2008's critically panned 4 Christmases. Supposedly, Vaughn and co-star Reese Witherspoon didn't get along during the making of the movie due to their contrasting work ethics.
And I was passed out and they said, everybody needs to put on their oxygen mask. I would like to know that you were going to put mine on before you put on your own, you know?
It got so bad that Witherspoon even refused to film a love scene with him. Well, come time to promote the movie, and Witherspoon was out there by herself.
The real problem, she says, was their height difference. Vince is 6'5", is he?
He's 6'5", yeah, and I'm 5'2". It was funny.
There are even reports suggesting Vaughn purposely scheduled other work during that time so as to not be available. Number 9. Jonah Hill, all of his movies going forward. While some celebrities love being in front of a crowd and are very comfortable talking to the media, that certainly isn't the case for all of them.
And I'm still getting there. It's not like I figured it out.
This latter group includes Jonah Hill, who has divulged a history of suffering from anxiety attacks, as he put it, quote, exacerbated by media appearances and public-facing events. In 2022, Hill also announced that, in order to prioritize his mental health, he would stop doing the typical media promotion of his movies.
I think I'm gonna bounce because this has been a lot for 1 year. Honey, I love.
This began with his Netflix documentary Stutz, which centers on a series of discussions between Hill and his therapist, and is set to continue with, quote, any of his upcoming films.
So I thought we would just film one session in one day and cover some of your tools that have been most helpful for me in my life.
I think that's good.
Number 8. Burt Reynolds, Boogie Nights. You'd think that after Burt Reynolds' amazing performance in Boogie Nights that director Paul Thomas Anderson would have wanted to cast him again in his next film, Magnolia.
The thing here is to make this experience as painless and easy for him as possible.
And you'd be right. So why wasn't Reynolds in the movie? Because he didn't want to be. In fact, although Boogie Nights revived his career and earned him critical praise, Reynolds was pretty vocal about having hated working on the film and feeling much the same about Anderson.
It's my dream to make a film that is true and right and dramatic.
He felt so strongly about it that he barely did any promotion for the movie, he didn't campaign for his Oscar, and he even fired his agent who'd recommended he do the film.
You are fired! You're fired, you goddamn!
Number 7. Cameron Diaz, The Counselor. It isn't unusual for actors to have to return to the studio and re-record some of their lines during post-production, but having to record all of them over again, that's gotta suck.
I don't think I miss things. I think to miss something is to hope that it will come back. But it's not coming back. I've always known that since I was a girl.
And that's exactly what Cameron Diaz had to do on her 2013 film, The Counselor. Originally, Diaz performed her role in the film with a strong Barbadian accent.
I've never been to Barbados. Are all the ladies as sexy as you?
It's a steaming pit of sexual abandon.
I don't believe you.
Well, it used to be. I left.
Unfortunately, the studio executives didn't dig the delivery and demanded that Diaz redub all of her lines. This didn't sit well with the actress and is believed to be the reason she didn't get out there to promote the film.
Listen, you don't have to do the whole forgiveness thing. All you have to do is listen to the sins.
Number 6. Jim Carrey, Kick-Ass 2. In 2013, Jim Carrey came to the decision that he would no longer appear in any movie that depicted acts of excessive violence.
I know it's not much, but this is just the beginning. Together we can make a real difference.
The decision came following the tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary School, but after he had already finished filming Kick-Ass 2.
You showed us that every man can make a difference. Without Kick-Ass, none of us would be here. That's from the heart. Don't let it go to your head.
As he wrote in his tweet, quote, "I did Kick-Ass a month before Sandy Hook, and now in all good conscience, I cannot support that level of violence."
I spoke to Jim Carrey back in March. He didn't mention anything about the violence at that time. He just seemed really excited to be playing this role in this crazy film.
It was for that reason that Carrey did not do promotion for the film, and thus far has remained true to his word about not taking on roles in movies with lots of violence. Number 5. Monique, Precious. Monique's performance in Precious earned her a well-deserved Academy Award, for which she was very grateful.
Precious!
Her lack of promotion for the film had nothing to do with her not liking the movie or wanting to distance herself from the work. Instead, it had to do with the fact that she felt she was paid to act in the movie and nothing else.
But they've all been saying the same thing. You know, they'll call me back. They'll get back to me.
The producers and the studio both asked Monique to go to Cannes to do some promotion, but she said her contract was with the movie's director Lee Daniels and that she'd lived up to her end of the deal.
We got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. Now, I said no to some very powerful people. I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I said no to Tyler Perry. I said no to Lee Daniels. And I said no to Lionsgate.
The fact that she was only paid $50,000 probably didn't entice her to go above and beyond for them either. Number 4. Ed Harris, The Abyss. To say that making The Abyss was a difficult shoot would be a massive understatement.
His mixture got screwed up. Jammer panicked. He pranged his regulator and his mixture got screwed up.
But what did he see that made him panic?
Well, what do you think he saw?
The isolation, the underwater filming, and the 70-hour weeks all worked to create a movie-making experience that even James Cameron himself said he never wanted to go through again. Even actress Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio suffered a physical and emotional breakdown during filming.
And she just, freaked. She just said, "Hey, man, we are not animals. I don't know what you're doing here, but we are not animals."
She runs off the set. It's like, who could blame her?
Ed Harris at one point also burst into tears driving home from the set. Given the awful experience, it was rumored that Harris planned on not doing any promotion for the movie before its release.
But I remember driving home that night, and I just broke down, man. I was just weeping.
However, Harris denied those rumors at the time and did end up doing some promotional work for the film. After that, however, Harris was done, saying, quote, "I'm never talking about it and never will." Number 3. David Hyde Pierce, Hellboy. We know what you're thinking. In fact, you're probably heading to the comments right now to tell us David Hyde Pierce wasn't in 2004's Hellboy.
You saw the fish guy, right?
Oh, yeah. That was weird.
Yeah, right.
But in actuality, he was, or at least his voice was. One of the characters, an amphibious humanoid named Abe Sapien, was played by actor Doug Jones.
Story of my life.
But because David Hyde Pierce was a more recognizable name, he was hired to voice Sapien. However, in a wonderfully ego-less act, Pierce asked not to be credited in the film and refused to do any promotion or attend any events so as to not take away from or overshadow Jones's performance.
But it all comes motivated from in here, from in here, for Abe Sapien. What's his part in the story? What's his motivation? What's his background? What is his organism? What is his ecosystem?
Number 2. Rachel Weisz and Daniel Craig, Dreamhouse. Between performers Rachel Weisz and Daniel Craig and director Jim Sheridan, people definitely expected more from 2011's Dreamhouse.
You didn't. You didn't. I didn't. You did. Oh, you did. Oh, you did. I'm so proud of you. Oh, we're gonna be so much happier.
However, what they got was a universally panned film that only grossed $40 million on a $50 million budget. While there's no doubt plenty of blame to go around, director Jim Sheridan put much of it on the studio executives who were constantly hounding him about the film and the script.
What are you doing? What's going on?
They even put their hands on the final cut of the movie, leading to Sheridan trying to get his name off of it. In a show of support for their director, and probably also because they knew how bad it was, Weisz and Craig didn't do any promotion for the movie.
It's fine.
It's not fine. You want to know why it's not fine?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Christopher Plummer, The Sound of Music. The Sound of Music is, quote, awful and sentimental and gooey. Wait, before you launch a smear campaign against us, we're not the ones who said that.
My favorite remark about it was an actor friend of mine in Hollywood just after it had opened, who turned to me and said, yeah, I saw it. He said it was like being beaten to death by a Hallmark card. I thought that was the best one I heard.
The words came from Christopher Plummer. That's right. It's the movie that made Plummer a star and one of the most popular movies of all time. But in the years since its release, he'd made his disdain and boredom over his character and the subject matter of the film rather known.
You may call me Captain.
Have you ever wondered why he didn't show up at most events celebrating the film, or appear in promotional videos with his castmates over the years?
I don't care to hear anything further from you about my children.
Finished yet,
Oh,
Captain.
yes, you are, Captain. Fräulein.
Well, that's why. Let's just say that The Sound of Music wasn't one of Plummer's favorite things. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.